Hello.
Hello. How are you all? How are we all? On time?
We're starting 5 minutes early.
Early.
Do not adjust your screens.
We're just sitting here killing time.
We're here.
Hope you guys are good. Olympic golf, let's start right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you watch?
I got to watch some. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't say I stayed up to 3 a.m. every morning.
No. The timing was really tough.
It was.
More
More of the highlights I watched
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah.
Just the nature of it. But I watched the beginning of the final round.
Yeah.
And then went to bed, obviously. But it was good. Course looked nice. Course looked very, immaculate.
Yeah, it was good. I think, a lot of people are kind of caught over the weekend, trying to pick apart, do it this format, do it that format, trying to change the format, trying
Already?
to think that it should be
Okay.
like a match play event or something. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why
it needs to be. Stroke play 4 rounds is the format that tournament golf is played under. Why would you take golf away from its standard format
I
to,
agree.
just for the Olympics? I don't quite get that. Maybe there's a better explanation, but
I heard
don't
some
quite get it.
suggestions. No, I don't. I agree with you. I wouldn't care for that either. I heard some suggestions about making it more of a team thing, or whether the team score, you would accumulate 4 players' scores. That's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I think 72-hole stroke play is generally accepted to be the way to expose the best player that week.
Yeah.
It's different than other sports, though. I was talking about this with Lindsay, even swimming and a bunch of other sports. The person who wins the world championships and all these things, they show up and they're expected to win unless something bad happens.
Yeah.
Golf's not like that.
No, I know.
And it never will be. And I don't think you can ever make a format of golf that will make, people are complaining did it expose the best 3 players in the world? Well, no. But golf, you can't do that.
No,
with golf.
you don't. I mean, looking at it coming down the stretch, you had Xander, you had Rory.
Yeah, there were great players.
Casey, really, really good players right there. Sabatini went bananas,
That was
shot
wild,
61.
61. Crazy. Comes out of nowhere.
I know.
And that's why I think people were like, well, Rory Sabatini's not the second best player in the world. It's like, okay, well, it's golf. Because in the top 100, anyone can beat anyone at any time. And a lot of other sports aren't like that.
That's for sure. Yeah,
it's just not like that. And if you watch the beach volleyball, there's teams that have no chance.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's different. So it is what it is. It's still cool to have it in the Olympics, I think.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
It's funny how people kind of, golf is clearly not a natural Olympic sport because people, I'm even seeing there, Blake saying caddies should be given a medal. Did they get given a trophy?
I know, exactly.
I'm I don't think so.
It doesn't fit. But it's true. They're very much part of the team. But they're more of a coach, though. I think they're more of a coach.
Yeah.
Because none of them really had coaches.
I don't think. I mean, you don't give Colin Morikawa's caddy a claret jug.
Oh, no. And you don't give them $1.5 million either.
It's part of what's going on. So
I did see a lot of that stuff. The caddy mouth thing. I'm like, okay. I don't know what the urgency was on that, but
no, me neither.
Pretty funny. But no, cool to see. A little disappointing that 2 pretty big players missed it due to what's going on in the world, and honestly surprised it wasn't more. But anyway, that is what it is.
I find it hilarious, at the end of it. Rory does what Rory always has to do, is backtrack because he stuck his huge foot in his mouth and went, this is, I was going to say this is garbage, but he's not what he said. It's effectively going I don't really feel like I should do it. I'm doing it for golf, not for Ireland, is basically what he said.
I remember that.
He said he's not very patriotic. Then at the end of it, he's like, that was such a cool experience. He already can't wait for Paris. All that sort of stuff.
That's good. He gave it a chance. But you're right. He's done that with a bunch of stuff.
I think in Paris, the golf, the event will be really strong. I don't think anyone will bow out of Paris.
I agree, and it's less of an extreme travel thing, right? Japan is on the other side of the world for most of the best players in the world, and I think, I'm not saying they wouldn't do it, but you're right. It's less of that. It's it's a 5-6 hour flight from North America, and you're there.
And with COVID and stuff like that, obviously that's going to be behind us. Touch wood. So we.
I'll be living on a deserted island if it's not in 2024.
Yeah. So that'll be. It will be.
It will be a huge event. You're right. It'll be very different.
It will. I tell you what was a shocker. It wasn't even on my radar all weekend until I saw the headline. Annika Sorenstam winning the Women's US Senior Open.
No, she was playing.
Me neither.
Came out of nowhere.
Never mind winning it by 8 shots.
Yes, came out of retirement and just dusted everyone.
Because, I saw that she had been playing a little bit, and then, she'd been playing okay in some rounds, but I didn't really think she was dedicating any time to golf anymore.
Me neither.
And then she comes out and dusts the field.
Yeah, I didn't think she was playing at all.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I know.
Good to see.
It was good to see. And that's about all the golf I saw or heard of over the weekend.
Yeah, there was nothing else going on, right?
Nothing much.
PGA Tour didn't play, did they?
No.
Took a week off?
Yeah, I think so.
No alternate field?
I think so.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Let's, John's saying he would like to see amateur golfers in the Olympics. Be an interesting one, wouldn't it? I mean, I know when it comes to boxing has historically been amateurs only.
That's what a lot of sports in the Olympics used to be.
And then I think it was maybe Rio was the first Olympics that they basically said to the professionals, like, you guys can come back in. And most went, nah.
Oh, really?
Olympic boxing and, professional boxing and amateur boxing are different sports.
Okay.
As far as most people's concerned. The point system, the short
it's
format.
all different.
Yeah, it's entirely different. So, that's an interesting point about it being, Olympics, more for the amateurs than for the professionals.
I mean, they talk about it with basketball and stuff too, because like the U.S. will show up with a bunch of, now they will show up with NBA players, and in the past, I don't know how many years ago, but it did used to be amateurs too. But then people argue, well, we want to see the people who are the best in the world.
Yeah.
But it did used to be for the amateurs, right?
Very interesting. Well, a nice little question to start us off is the one that's just caught my eye from James, saying that he was able to hit the new T100s. He thought it was much firmer than the originals that he has in the bag. Matty, did you notice the same? They do look stunning though. Did you notice that they feel firmer?
I did notice. They feel more like firmer is probably not the word I would use.
More solid?
Yeah, they feel more like a blade iron. And maybe for James's feel, that's just what he's recognizing. But yeah, they feel more like, if you kind of didn't look at the back badge, you might assume they were like a muscle back club. I thought they were still a soft feeling iron though, so maybe the ball choice might have something to do with that. But I felt, to me, it felt kind of like more like a blade and still soft on the soft side.
Agreed.
Definitely different than the previous generation, and you'll see that in the video that we just filmed. We talked about that a fair amount.
Absolutely. What else we got?
Right. I will get back up to the top here. See what we got. And Ian says a long drive event at the Olympics. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, I saw a few people kind of talking about that.
It's funny though, because a lot of I'll say it again, like swimming, for example. There's like 30 swimming events. It's not just one.
Yeah.
But then golf was added, so I don't know. It might be a bit much to say there's this, and this, and that wouldn't be the craziest idea. Because it would be a different set of athletes that would show up for that.
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it would ever happen, but it would be fun to watch. Still sort of a lot of Olympics talk here. Let's do this one from David. David wants to blend P770s and P7MBs. Okay. How should I look at blending the lofts correctly? So the P770 would be, 2 degrees stronger?
Yeah, 2 degrees stronger. Yeah, David, I mean, a couple of degrees, you're probably going to have to maybe, weaken a bit, strengthen a bit. That's probably the way to go about it.
Bit of each? So
bit of each, yeah. I mean, ultimately, buy them and then get to work. Go find somewhere that if that's the set that you want, right? Then you're probably just going to have to pick them up and then go work with them.
Yeah, because you're going to have to do a session and see how far you hit each one and then blend them. But
definitely.
Likely you'd weaken the 770 a bit and strengthen the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason said a drive, chip and putt comp would be cool for adults at the Olympics. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's thinking like an alternative format. I'm just not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. That's just the nature of what people do, I guess. They see something and they go, I'd rather see it this way.
Yeah.
John's asking if we're going to do a Garmin R10 review. We asked.
Everyone wants to know that one right now, don't they?
I think we asked, though. Right? If Garmin gets back to us, we'll do it.
I know Mr. Brath is on it.
Okay, perfect.
He is on it.
Lovely.
Chasing them down.
We will let you know if we hear anything.
Yeah.
What else can I grab here? A few people are asking about long lead times right now. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I think there's an obvious shortage and supply shortage, and everything is taking longer. So most people are familiar this season. If you're looking for clubs, what would you say? Mostly an extra month or two?
It can be an additional. It can be if you say a custom set is 2 weeks, you might be looking at 6 to 8 weeks in certain products. It depends again where you buy. I know we're kind of well stocked in a lot of the kind of popular stuff that we need. So our lead times are pretty good right now, but it really just depends, guys. I mean, 6 to 8 weeks is not uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's becoming the standard for this year anyway.
Yeah, Ian saying long drive perfect for the Olympics. Again, the sport of long drive and the sport of golf are not the same. No. Jamie Sadlowski is the perfect example of that. The best long driver in the world at a certain point. And he's kind of Canadian, Mackenzie Tour level right now. He's kind of playing around that level, which is quite a bit away from sort of PGA level.
You know what it'd be like? It'd be like if basketball had a dunk competition.
Yeah.
At the Olympics.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, sure, I'd watch it. But
I don't think that's the sport.
Yeah, it's a skill. I think that's a skill versus a sport.
Definitely.
Like long drive is a skill. A good skill, but it's
it's a good way to look at it, I think. Interesting to see Rory using a Scotty at the Olympics.
I did see that.
Yeah, little Newport.
Yeah. Like to tinker, Rory, with the putter.
Yeah,
he's putted well with that, and he's putted well with his Spider.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing. Like DJ, puts a putter in it. Forget the name of the tournament, and then sets like a record of the amount of cumulative feet of putts hold, and then all of a sudden, he's in something entirely different the next week.
It's funny. It just shows you though that there's other factors, like just just refreshing your eye or what you're looking at. May you just work 1 week and the next week you're like, well, I'm still the same putter I was before.
Exactly. Michael thinks you should have kept your long hair. Reminded him of Miami Vice.
Did it, Michael? Well, I'm sorry to let you down.
Yeah.
It does grow back though, but I don't think I'm going to do that again for a while. Now that I can actually get a haircut, I'll probably get them.
Jack is saying basketball has a 3-on-3 in the Olympics.
Saw that. Yeah.
I didn't even know it had that.
Yeah, I just caught it. Yeah, I don't know if anyone really liked that though. I could be wrong, but
not sure. Not sure.
But it's still basketball. They're still playing basketball.
Jeremy's asking, can you guys help explain lie angles when getting fit for irons? We can. Jeremy, lie angles are a primary influence on the directional start line of your golf ball. So, we want to make sure that loft is tilted in the right direction to get your ball to start on a certain line so that it curves on a certain line. So, much more about dialing in your accuracy. Obviously, contact is big as well, making sure that we get it centered, making sure it gets through the turf well. Every iron session should incorporate a lie angle element to it.
Yeah, it needs to, right?
Yeah.
Very important. Oh, that's a good one here. So Robin's saying he was spinning his 7-iron down at 5,200 with a Pro V1. You got the RBX Tour Mizuno ball thanks to our suggestion. That's great.
Yeah.
Are there similar balls to the RBX in terms of spin?
Not many. Yeah, we saw the Bridgestone, the RB... What was it? The
BXS?
The BXS. That was very spinny a few years ago.
Generation, yeah. So the new generation doesn't.
Not so much.
I don't know. A Vice wasn't. No, it wasn't
Kirkland?
a Vice. It was a cut. There was a cut ball.
Was there blue?
Cut
The blue
blue
cut?
at one point spun like crazy. But honestly, I think they changed that too.
Yeah.
And you're right. A Kirkland at one point spun like crazy, but probably nothing current that I can think of. They all seem to have kind of dialed them back and gone the other way. Because I guess it just doesn't fit that many people.
Definitely.
People want to hit it further, not shorter.
Let's see. moving too quick for me here.
Okay. I can grab one here.
Go for it if you've got one there, buddy.
That's a good question. I don't think we've ever answered this. So Robbie wants to know, how much less should the dynamic loft be than the static loft? So great question. So if you had a 6-iron have 30 degrees, what would you like to deliver ideally to the ball?
Depending on the club head speed, I would say if your static loft is, call it modern standard, right, 28. I would say 22, 23.
Okay, so
would be a nice
4 or 5 degrees lean.
Yep, that'd be a nice sort of place to have your handles obviously delivering in the dynamics of your body opening up and to make sure we get that low point out in front of the golf ball.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
good question. I don't think we've answered that specifically in a while.
Titleist 909ZB, any reviews of the new Accra RPG Tour golf shaft?
Coming
soon. Yeah, it's on our list.
It's on our wall.
It's on our list. Yes.
See a golden flash over here where I'm pointing. There they are.
It's a beauty.
It is a beauty. Absolutely. Don't know anything about the new Mizuno Irons. I see a few questions about. I don't think we have any information. Certainly not any that we can give anyone.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough leakage on things like Instagram and
people
on the internet.
Them.
Yeah, people have seen them.
They're mostly asking if that's the one that's coming to the North American market, but again, can't say.
Yeah.
Or don't know.
Well, we again, it's not, we're not kind of able to really talk about it just yet. There's new irons coming. We do know that it's going to be an MP replacement. Whether it's MP name or whether it's not, all that will be revealed in due course. But I mean, do a little Googling.
Honestly, you'll see
do a little Googling. You'll see some stuff. Google it. Anders is asking, have you had a chance to swing the new Cobra King Tech Hybrid?
It's right over there.
She's over there. We have it.
Today we have it. Maiden voyage. I was looking at this. This weight thing is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So you could make a 12 gram weight at the back. You could put a 2 in the heel. You could make it a bit fade biased and a little bit more flighted. So there it is.
Blows. So kind of in max MOI setting right now, 2 12 gram weights, toe and heel, 2 grams at the back, carbon top, power shell face, lots of adjustability, kind of got that stealth, matte finish on top with the carbon.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit reminds me of the King Limited. They actually had a matte black King Limited a few years ago, which was quite nice. So we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it actually probably right after this.
Yep. You will not have long to wait, Anders, later this week.
Yep.
Later this week.
Patrick's asking, no new T400s this year from Titleist? None.
No, they didn't do it, did they?
They're going to keep going with the current one.
Yep.
It's doing well for them.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. What brand has the best irons for blending? Need help in the long irons and also need help stopping the short ones. What are 2 of your favorite combo sets?
Number 1 is ZX5, ZX7. I think that would be my number 1 favorite. I think you would have to say T100, T100S. It is still two different sets.
Yep.
To combo, I mean, basically the same profile. So
those are 2
I
goodies.
like it.
Love it.
Norman Terry sent us a big, I don't know what that is, just a big thanks.
Just a big thanks.
Big thanks.
Lady. Thank you, Norman.
Pink-haired lady. Thank you.
Those of you in the chat will see it.
That is funny.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Made our day. Okay, Marcus. What do we got here, Marcus? Marcus is currently playing a Cobra Radspeed XB. He's got the Hazardous Blue RDX Stiff. Okay, swing speed 104. Can you recommend a good aftermarket shaft that will tighten my dispersion? It's got a right miss. What do we think about that? RDX Blue is a pretty good shaft, though.
It's a really good shaft. It's a really good shaft.
Maybe just not suiting Marcus's timing, perhaps?
I know. I mean, in the world of aftermarket shafts, there's so many. I mean, right miss, assuming you're a right-handed golfer, you might want to, raise the balance point slightly. You might want to kind of get that head feeling like it can kind of, close a little more. There's lots and lots of different places to go with that. But, to pick a shaft, to single out one that would do the job.
Unlikely?
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. And, we could be giving you something to think about that could be way off base.
Yeah.
Based on all the other factors that go into making such a decision.
Probably good to go see a Cobra fitting shop and try a few different ones and try a few different settings.
Yeah. I mean, that RDX Blue, I mean, I've loved it in that 5-wood I've got. I really liked it in the 3-wood I've got. I don't think it was intended as a fairway wood shaft, but it seems to be a very good fairway wood shaft.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah. Suits it well.
Really, really good. I'm not sure what's going on with this. With these
super sticker. You've received another one.
I know.
This is from H. It's a baby hippopotamus spinning around in an office chair, cheering. Thank you. Wonderful.
These are wild scenes.
Oh, Norman Terry has now sent you some kind of a fruit.
It looks to me like something Larry Chung would love.
Yep.
Very Pokemon-esque.
Larry probably has one of those on his wall. Thank you, Norman, for the various things, the great many things. That's a good one here. G425 LST with the counterbalance stock shaft. Okay, my preferred grip is an MCC Plus for midsize. Yep. So it's 16 grams heavier than the stock grip. How much weight should I add back to the head to get the swing weight back where it was? So he's added 16 grams to the grip. What should I put back into the head?
To get it back to the swing weight to where it was, assuming around D3-ish. Yep. Yeah, you're going to be adding in... You're going to be adding in back in about 6-7 grams back into the head.
So already pretty heavy head.
An already heavy head, yeah.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I know. You're using a CB shaft as well. I mean, there's a lot of counterbalancing going on there. A lot of counterbalancing.
That's true.
Heavy grip, CB shaft. Yeah, I don't know if I love that overall combo. What's kind of going on there? We're kind of loading up both ends.
I was going to say, just sort of like heavy and then shaft in the middle.
Yeah, exactly, and kind of how that makes the middle play and stuff.
But that's the answer, right? 6 or so grams if he wants to balance it out.
Yeah.
All right. Grab one there.
Yeah, a couple of questions on my own fitting schedule. I saw Joe was saying, when does he have to book for a 2024 fit? 2024, yeah, summer 2024 for Joe. Joe, you can book that in 2023.
No 3-year advance booking.
No 3-year in advance bookings. And then there was another one. Let's see. Where did I miss the other one? How far in advance? I think was the question. My booking schedule hasn't actually reopened for right now. The reason is we have so many fits to get through. Literally, there is no space for me in a bay.
You don't have a bay?
I literally don't have a bay anymore. We have more fitters than bays, and we have lots of clients to get through. So I mean, I think probably generally it runs around 6 months in advance. So if you're looking at getting a fit booked in, probably about 6 months from now would be a good time to book something with Harrison.
Lovely. Phil's asking if we're going to get any of the Fuji MC putter shafts in for review.
Yeah, we actually we have all three. Yeah, Mikey was sent all three of them. We have one in a ping. It was like a ping answer or something like that. So the answer is we'll do a little comparison, LAGP. We'll do maybe do it all in one with the Acra LAGP.
Do like a roundup.
Stability, and Fuji. And Mitsubishi have one as well.
Do they really? Mm-hmm. Nice. Is that brand new, or are they just
fairly new? I mean, they've had one. They've had one there for a while. Gotcha. Kyle H. This is a good one. What club in your bag most reflects your personality and
why?
What
a question. Where is that?
That's really good.
Is that right at the bottom?
Yeah, it's fairly new.
That's a great question.
Isn't it?
Okay, well, let's just answer it because I can't find it. What club best represents your personality and why? Oh, there it is.
Get it?
Yes. You go first.
I would say reflects your personality and why.
That's a hard question.
You're kind of having to analyze your own personality.
Yeah, and how deep we're going to go here.
I know. Where are we going to go with this?
I'm still thinking about what club I'm going to pick.
Yeah. I would say, for me, I would say 3 would right now would kind of reflect my own.
The 12-degree rocket launcher?
12-degree rocket launcher. So more just like in terms of how it's working for me is that it's reliable. It's reliable.
Like it. So it gives you the comfort. You like to have something reliable.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna because I haven't even shown you this.
What's back in the bag?
No, it's the putter.
Uh-huh.
And so because I had felt that my Bobby Grace putter was a bit heavy, I removed the weights from it. Now, the reason this represents my personality is that if I showed you the condition of said weights, you may be shocked because I couldn't really get one of them to come out.
Yep.
I, in turn, mangled it using pliers to get it out. I guess the nail is very soft, whatever that is.
Very soft.
Yeah, because of that, I am pretty impatient in personality, and I wanted to make this lighter. So this club currently represents me pretty well because that is something I wanted to do. Could have had done properly here or anywhere else.
Yeah.
And just decided to hack it in the garage anyway. But I putted quite well with it.
Did you really?
Lighter. Yeah. I don't know how much lighter it actually is, but I like it.
Yeah, there's different weights in those Bobby Graces.
They couldn't have weighed more than like 9 or 10 grams, I didn't think.
Interesting.
But yeah, there you go.
So
a weightless putter.
A wee bit light in the head.
I am a bit light in the head. There you go.
That is
well
said.
Funny. Kyle, good question. Very thought-provoking, clearly.
Let's see. Project X 65LZ versus soft stepped X100. I've had quite a lot of this recently.
Oh, really?
I have comparing certain shafts. It was kind of done a little light Q&A last. Well, it wasn't really a Q&A. It was more just a question and see what people want us to do more of in the channel in the next little while. And you obviously get a bunch of questions. And someone was saying, are basically X100s and KBS Tour shafts, are they basically the same? And I was like,
why would they be the
same? No, they're basically the opposite of one another.
Is a Toyota and a Lamborghini basically the same?
I know.
Oh.
So Project X65 LZ versus soft step X100. Which is spinning less? Oh man, I mean, I would go X100, most likely. LZ. Any info to share on Project X LZ65s? I mean, lots of info to share that's kind of readily available out there. But micro-stepped midsection, loads a little bit easier. LZ load zone for players who maybe don't have the fastest, quickest transition, trying to initiate a little bit more energy production from the middle of the shaft. 125 grams. That kind of sums it up. If we look at Project X is a family. You've got Project X Standard, which is a very linear profile, so there is no real bend to that EI curve. It's not like in proportion the butt section is relatively softer and the midsection gets stiffer and stuff like that. It is very linear when we look at it in the chart.
Okay.
LZ obviously is firm in the the butt section, softer in the midsection, then firms up again at the tip. And then you've got Project X LS, the new one.
Yeah, that's right.
The low spin, which is a little bendy in the curve, so it's softer on the handle for more feel.
Yeah, remember that. Yep.
It gets stiffer in the midsection, kind of quite like Project X in the midsection. Then it really spikes up on the EI curve in the tip section. Very, very, tip stiff. Actually, even way more tip stiff than an X7.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, but much softer on the handle.
It's a weird feeling I found. Like the handle is so much more flexible compared to the other ones that we were testing that time. But
yeah, interesting one though.
Yeah, definitely. This is probably an easy question for you to answer. Eric is asking if you think it's possible to bend a P770 A wedge 5 degrees weak. You will break it, Eric.
No, Eric.
Or you will make it look so bizarre.
Not recommended.
No more than 2.
Not recommended. Yeah, two max. 2 max.
Get yourself a sand wedge separately.
Yeah.
I know they don't make one in a P770, but you will destroy that club.
Definitely.
And then you'll have to buy another gap wedge.
Definitely. JG Golf, can you guys get Callaway Apex TCB irons? We can. We've had access to them all season. We've sold a lot of sets of them actually. So
nice.
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
Okay.
Bandela effect. Any way we can get multiple camera angles on Matty's swing.
One's enough. One's enough.
I mean, we are a little limited by space, obviously, and here we've got some kind of walls and stuff, so it is tougher to get those other angles. We've got the fitter's desk and things like that, so not easy.
Occasionally we do, but for the most part we do this one because we can talk back and forth, and there's a camera in the way here, and it works. It works for the space.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about it in a while. Militime Golf wants to know what your thoughts are on the Autoflex shaft. Do you think there will be copies of it coming out?
What's that? What's Autoflex?
How do you think the shaft works? We don't know.
We don't know. It's hidden, Korean hidden technology.
Completely hidden, Militime.
We don't know.
We don't think.
Yes, I think there will be some other companies coming out in that space, for sure.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. We have some shaft sensors last week.
That's right.
Now, I don't even know the pronunciation. I don't think it's Monster. I think it's Monstar.
I believe you're right about that.
So very premium in the price point. I think not quite in terms of the kind of softness of Autoflex.
Monstar Premium.
Monstar Premium.
Behold.
Fancy.
Look
at those beauties.
Not as loud as an Autoflex, but it's still pretty bright.
Yep, we have some Monstar full titanium. So we have some sort of titanium that's layered in with the graphite in there. We have a 68 gram. This is a double X. I think that's a.
This is a single X.
67X.
Yep.
Torque DK double kick. Has
kick.
A double kick, kicks you twice. Once isn't enough.
The kick's so nice it did it twice. That's funny.
So
3.5 torque is not exactly super low, is it?
No, but one of those things that we're starting to see from some of the kind of better quality shafts is that not reducing the torque because you don't have to. You can retain a bit of that feel, which is
so it
cool.
doesn't feel like rebar.
Yeah, so I mean, Autoflex may make its way back from time to time. We do have the iron and the hybrid version of it that we haven't tested, but at some point.
All right. Always in our hearts, the Autoflex, so we'll always be around.
Thomas is asking, Apex or Sim 2 irons? Well, Thomas, I think most people would answer that with Apex. Most people. I think Sim 2 is more of a game improvement product. And if you need lots of game improvement that you'll probably like the Sim 2, but I think Apex is a little more versatile. It has a nice forged feel, has a nice look to it.
Yes.
Tons of technology in there as well.
It will last you a little bit longer if you improve and be a little bit more versatile.
A bit more progression in mind.
All right. What else can we grab here? Looking to replace the stock 4-iron with a utility iron, and he wants to put an MMT shaft graphite in. Mm-hmm. So he's got X100s in the other clubs. What shaft weight in the MMT would be good to blend with the rest of the set? So it's a utility 4-iron, graphite shafted MMT, X1s in the rest.
Yeah, if you're looking to blend them with the X100s, it's going to be the 125.
120. That's the heaviest one.
Yeah, but if you want it to basically perform a little differently, like we just talked about with your long irons, maybe going a touch lighter.
That's right, yeah.
Then you could also go the 105 TX, which is like 113 grams. So it just drops you down a little bit in the weight, makes it a bit more dynamic, maybe allows you to lengthen it slightly if you do need to, swing a little quicker and get a little bit more distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I think you said that when we were filming just now, but my long irons, I'm not going to blame this for the reason I don't hit them well, but the fact that they feel so heavy, it's not helpful, is it? Like if you feel like you can't get your long irons kind of going.
At certain points, it's fine. I think if you're retaining a certain amount of speed, if the weight doesn't diminish any of your speed, if the weight does contribute to your speed or your dynamics, your delivery, then obviously that's the point at which you make a change.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Let's see what's going on. There was a question there about has the Ventus shaft evolved? There's Matt Thomas. Has Ventus Velocore Blue changed through the years? He hit his pro shaft in my TM Max. Loved it. Ordered one. Put it in the head. Can't hit it. Neither has been tipped. Again, I think that's just controlling specs, isn't it? Controlling the build.
It's only been 2 years, I thought.
It's only been a couple of years tops.
I don't think they've made two versions of it.
No,
yet.
You're right. It was.
It was because we saw it at the PGA show the second year or something like that. So so it must be a build issue of some kind.
It's got to be something to do with that.
Can't be the same.
Yeah, it is the exact same design. It has not evolved at all. Got one there, lad?
Yes. This is kind of, you might have to throw something at this one and see what sticks. But so Shanksy is playing a hazardous green in his sim, swings it pretty quick. He's got high toe strikes, but they're blocking, so not toe hooking. Recommendations on something new to try. So what do we know about hazardous green 6.0? Is that a decent fit for his swing speed there?
Yeah, for swing speed, I think that's a pretty stout stiff. In my sim, lots of people have talked about high toe strikes on a sim because of twist face that block and don't curve back.
Oh, that's fair enough.
You might want to look more at the head and traditional gear effect to start get that gearing back a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it works well if your toe strike is a disaster.
Yeah. I'd probably say try a TSI 3. I found that it was quite easy to turn over a TSI 3. I think that could be maybe more the issue rather than the shaft.
Yeah, good point. Like it. We have some triple diamond stuff coming eventually. Tim's asking about that triple diamond, so stay tuned. Not this week, Tim, but it's in the works.
It is in the works. Yep. We're planning on taking a dive into that because I think with the work that Johnny Wonder's doing on his kind of social media and people talking about John Rahm's driver and Xander's driver, and there's all these triple diamonds. It's definitely confusing.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of driver models, and it's hard to know what they do.
Absolutely. Garrett is asking, are Modus 125 black shafts offered to the public? I believe so. I believe all the black options are available now. Certainly the 120 TXs that are in my clubs.
I was going to say, but I saw that in your what's in the bag. That's probably why we are getting the question. Mm-hmm. They are good looking. Very good looking.
Definitely.
You may be adding to your lead time, though, this year in particular. Probably a harder item to get.
Definitely. All right. Adam's asking if we have triple diamond heads as part of our fitting matrix. We don't. Typically, they haven't done well for us. We have tried it in the past with other heads. I think it was first Epic Flash, and then
I remember that one.
There was what was the one after that?
Maverick. Did you ever have any diamond ones of that? We
did. We had some diamonds of that, and we end up getting stuck with inventory at the end of the year and stuff like that. So we do shy away from it a little bit from that.
Fair enough. It's a niche item. It appeals to people. I think part of the reason it appeals to people is it seems to be hard to find. I think if they were all over the place, people would maybe not care that much. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about having options, fitting options. Yeah. So different profiles, CG locations, head profiles, all that sort of stuff. When you're brand agnostic like we are, we can just go get that from another brand.
Totally.
So we're never trying to stay. Neither do we need to stay in Callaway. Neither do we need to shy away from Callaway. Yeah. It's just one of those.
That's
one
a
of
good
those
point.
Things. Within the Callaway line, I can see it making sense for them to have extra options.
Go to a Callaway fitting center. This is great. There's 9 different driver heads.
Rather than just having Speed, Max at LS, and Max 3 heads that kind of. Hopefully you get something in there. Then you add another couple of heads in there.
That's a good point. Yeah, very
it's
true.
Good for them.
Yep, unless you're a Callaway, Allegiant, or you're a staff player or something, it just makes more sense to try something else.
Yeah.
This is a good question from John. Does putting weight near the back of the head of a driver keep the face open longer? I know you've talked about this. It's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So
increases the closure rates.
So the further back CG drivers, like a G425, is it a Max this year, or is it?
There's a Max this year.
Okay, so that something like that's way back. That's easier for the face to close. Something with the weight way forward, like a TSI 4, is more fade biased.
We'll stay open a little longer.
So the opposite, John. Mm-hmm. The opposite.
Yep. Yes. Scott's saying, dang, the Callaway LS Max is crazy low spin. How much more do you see? Scott, it's actually not. It's really not. It's not crazy low spin at all. It's by Callaway standards, it's actually they've raised the spin profile of that. And now here's the interesting thing. It might be for you.
It's true, yeah.
But it's not by design. In most of the fits that we're seeing, it's not for most people that come through the door here. There are definitely lower spin heads out there than that. It's not certainly the lowest.
What do you think is low? Sim this year?
Yeah, Sim is really low. Obviously, TSI 4 is really low. What else? TSI 3 is higher. Yeah, I mean, Callaway have talked about it openly. Ping have talked about it openly. They want spin back. They're going the other way with spin.
Seems like that trend was bound to slow down eventually. Like it was getting to the point of being ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And people don't hit the ball straighter with crazy low spin drivers for the most part.
Liquid Golf Designs. Do you see driver flex becoming obsolete?
Oh, interesting.
I do not see that ever being obsolete ever.
You're gonna have to have some kind of designation, right?
100%. I mean, the thing is gonna it has to bend. It absolutely has to bend. So, if we're talking about it being obsolete, I guess what you're asking is like, does a 95 mile an hour swing speed need to be stiff? Like, is that thought process going to become obsolete? Maybe that's more what you mean, because flex will never become obsolete because it has to, we have to produce energy, we have to load and unload, we have to feel the shaft to create good timing.
Right.
So it's never going to become obsolete, but thinking beyond speed and flex designation is a something that every good fitter should do. Already, absolutely. You see somebody like, again, just sprung to my mind right there. Someone like Johnny Wonder, not a particularly quick golf swing.
Right.
You look at his fairwoods, like 70 TX in his 3-wood, 80 TX in his 5-wood. He's probably not swinging them any more than 107, 106 miles an hour.
But it just suits the way that he swings.
That's just what he likes. And it's kind of what he says he times up best when he tests shafts and all that sort of thing. So
there you go.
But not obsolete in terms of process.
So Sean has a Cobra F7 driver. Still, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Worth upgrading to something new, would like some added distance if newer stuff helps. So Cobra F7 is how many drivers ago?
A lot of drivers ago.
Sean, I think
probably 2014.
Okay, so a solid 7 years. You usually say 4-ish, 5 years.
Yeah.
So Sean, I would say almost definitely, especially if you were to get fit properly, which you should.
2016,
so about 5 years old. I don't know, was F7 a particularly hot item in your memory?
No.
Maybe not the best thing Cobra ever made. Chances are, Sean, if you went for a fit, I would think something from the major 6 or 7 brands would give you more ball speed, certainly more forgiveness.
Doesn't stand out from the 2016 lineup.
Right, it wasn't one of your favorites of 2016.
No.
I would say it would be worth looking at, Sean. Even if you went and got something from last year, save yourself some money.
I actually talked to Bryson DeChambeau about that. He actually says they were way off track on the design of that one.
Right.
Said the face wasn't right.
Did it suck?
It sucked, and it was just not a good face for him.
He'll never live that down, nor should he.
Neither he should.
Nope. Hey, Bryson, how was your driver this week? Did it suck? No, didn't suck.
Tyler Price, why are you guys no longer carrying KBS? Tyler Price, that's not true. We are. We carry
Tyler Price.
C-Taper Light, S-Taper. We do have some KBS in the lineup. We don't have KBS Tours. We don't have KB90s. There's a few that we don't, but there are some that we do.
Okay, so you just have a bit less KBS, but there is still KBS.
Yeah, everything is about trying to create a balanced shaft matrix. We can't carry everything from everyone, and when we start seeing too much crossover, we start being more picky as to which ones we want.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a good process. Look at some of these. I love these. Looking to replace Adam's Speedline LS 5-degree driver. Any recommendations? So it's a long drive club?
Probably. Yeah, it must have been.
Driver?
Yeah. What about beauty? That is a 5-degree driver with a speeder
S-Flex.
A 747. That's a 757 Beavis, the Blazer,
And a
44 inch.
Recommendations would be to start from scratch.
Yeah. If it's a 5-degree head, the likelihood is it's a long drive product's probably light and designed to be played with a longer than average shaft.
Point.
Probably feeling absolutely shocking to you. Probably feels stiff and no good.
Probably why he's looking to replace.
I mean, if you do need your loft that low, you can always go like I do. I play the 8-degree sim, turn down to 6. You're almost there. If you need the head a little open, like I do. Your Callaway often do some releases of their long drive heads.
That's right.
Yeah, they have some that are available, so you can maybe sneak into those. But I would go and get a wee fit.
It sounds like
a nice wee fit.
Beavis the Blazer, you would benefit from a fit.
Yeah.
With your unique driver you have there. A lot of shaft questions this week. It must be just people thinking about reshafting clubs for whatever reason. Okay. This is interesting. MP18 MMC irons. 180 carry on the 7-iron. Love the look and feel, but the ball comes off too hot. He's never been fit. What's a similar iron to test out? Well, you probably don't want a similar iron, I would say, if you think the ball is coming off too hot. But if you're swinging a 7-iron 92 miles an hour and you're carrying it 180, that's probably about what you should get.
Absolutely. I don't think it's coming off.
Sometimes the ball comes off too hot.
Too hot.
Not sure if that might be more of a swing thing you want to look at. If sometimes you de-loft it, but it sounds like you have a decent ball flight there. You're getting quite a bit out of it.
Loft is going to be your friend. You can maybe try weakening them a little bit and
before replacing. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Maybe weaken it 1 degree and see what you think then. It's a good idea. A little bit more spin.
See how you go.
When is my what's in the bag coming? I actually think I'm going to change a few clubs.
What are you thinking?
Well, I won't spoil today's video, but I think something will change based on that.
Okay.
I may update the irons. I want to either put a different hybrid or potentially a 7-wood in.
Yep.
Based
Something
on what we
there.
chatted about. And I have wedges that are going to be built. And I may put a putter in that I haven't Frankenstein by removing the weights.
So there's a bit to change.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be a fall thing.
Okay.
It'll be more interesting that way because if I did it now, it's just the clubs that everyone has seen. So it's coming once those things are done, and then it will be interesting. And I'll have a chance to play a bit of golf with those things, so then I can give you some feedback.
I like it. T100S, more or less forgiving versus JPX 921 forged.
Forged.
Again, depends how we're going to how are we going to describe forgiven. Like what do we consider to be forgiveness? I think both companies might have their own obviously answer to that one. From what I've just recently learned about the design of T100S, the amount of tungsten used in the toe and the heel makes that kind of in a class of its own from a forgiveness standpoint, from an MOI standpoint.
Right.
So I would probably lean towards T100S.
Even though it looks smaller, but it's a good point though.
Yeah, I think that's the whole kind of concept is the small package and the kind of max forgiveness. It's kind of has game improvement design tendencies in a package that almost nobody would reject.
No, I agree.
Unless you're too intimidated by it. You're not going to go.
Right.
You're not going to say it's too small. It's too big for me.
Yeah.
You know.
True enough. No, because tour players aren't even saying that. All right.
Bill Merritt's asking, Matty, thoughts on the STZ fairway? Still loving it?
Yes. Great 3-wood.
Happy with it?
Yeah, I think as long as I'm swinging well, I like the flight from it. Again, I've said to a few people, like, I don't like or hit 3-woods that are very low spin well. And to me, it has a little bit more kind of flight to it. So I find it pretty reliable. When I'm swinging well, it has enough spin to keep it online. I don't hit it the farthest. I think if I had a Sim 2 fairway wood, I'm sure I would hit it further. But it serves the purpose of the yardage, and it is accurate. So it's also one of the best feeling 3-woods I think that I've tried in a long time.
No doubt.
And it's a good price.
Joe, I've seen lots about this, about the Foresight and Bushnell.
Yeah, I saw a couple people about that. Yeah,
little kind of collaboration. Don't know anything about it. I literally, probably like everyone else, saw it on social media last week and kind of scratched my head and thought,
what's going on there?
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
So
we don't have any inside info.
Yes, we do not. I have heard nothing.
But it will be I'm assuming like a consumer level launch monitor.
It is indeed. Okay. Liquid Golf again is, what are both of your handicaps and what are your average scores? What's your handicap, Matty boy?
So I've played so poorly for the entire season. I've been putting in terrible score after terrible score after terrible score, but my handicap hasn't really changed. It's still sitting at a 0 point something. Right. I'm probably playing like a 5 or a 6. So if I don't start to stabilize, I will probably be a 4 or a 5 by the end of the year. If I do, then I'll probably stay hopefully at a 0 or a 1.
Yeah.
My scores have been junk though. I'm shooting high 70s, low 80s. It's been poopy, but it is what it is. It'll improve at some point. It is what it is. One of those years.
you've got some stuff you've been working on, and
I haven't played a ton of golf. I haven't obviously felt great a lot of the year, and I've been trying, but I'm just not shooting good scores. So I'm trying to get out there more often, trying to practice more. So I'm hoping by the end of the season to get the scores back to the low 70s where they used to be, and then let the handicap sit properly at a 0. It's just amazing how much last season, and I guess I had a couple decent scores really early this year, just freeze the handicap where it is. Like I'm not playing. If someone said like, oh, they're a 5 handicap, I got to give you 5 shots, I just give them the money on the tee. Be like, I'm going to shoot the same score as you, probably, or you're going to beat me gross. And then we'll be out of here. Yeah.
For sure. I'm currently still at the same as I was last year. I think I'm 0.3 worse off. I think I'm still +2. Scores have been decent. I mean, it's been a lot of like par, anywhere between 2 under and 4 over. It's been a really pretty consistent year. Yeah, it's been good. Like I've said a few times recently, like I feel like I'm playing the best bad golf I've ever played.
You're getting the ball in the hole, like you're scoring well.
I don't feel like I've even gotten that part down yet. I just feel like I've not put it all together yet. I don't have, like, you know, I'm not really firing. Like I've not put it together a round where like I've really got it together. What I am doing is, if I have a bad start, it doesn't generally turn into a bad round anymore. Like it just, it will somewhat even itself out, and that sort of thing. So that's been really good, and I feel like with a little bit of work, especially on short game, chipping and putting, I feel like there's going to be some really good stuff coming. I feel like there's probably about 4 shots still to come off. I feel like consistently.
That you kind of feel like you're wasting out there.
Yeah, I feel like 72s could very quickly become 68s if I can kind of get really comfortable with the putter, which, I'm going to do some good work in that, and I'm working hard my wedges.
Yeah, I saw you were out practicing at your club. It's good.
Yep.
Good.
Any timeline, Matthew's asking, when TXG will start fitting international customers? Not in our hands, Matthew. Again, border control is in control of that one. Whenever the authorities start to allow international travel.
I don't want to speculate. I do recall, though, because U.S. travel is coming in 4 days. You can come here. I think they said, God knows they don't always follow these things. They said basically that the international travel restrictions should potentially come off somewhere between a month after that.
Right.
So maybe in September. But again, these are just the speculations.
Very cool.
Hopefully that happens, though, because I'm sure there's lots of people that want to come.
Yeah, there's a good old list.
There's a good list, yeah.
There's a good old list. Let's see. What's going on?
I got one here, but you go first.
Yeah. Just trying to kind of figure this one out from Louis at TXG. Smarter decision, putter or driver? I'm assuming you mean for fitting.
To get a fit, yeah. If you could only do one. Yeah. I will guess that's what he's saying.
The probably fairly controversial choice for me is driver.
Yeah, you usually do say the driver, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I know you hit putter, the most in that sort of thing, but I think putting tends to be hot and cold for most people, and I always think if you start the hole on the front foot and you kind of get a good drive and play, and you do that most of the day, generally it keeps your score down.
Agree.
Keeps you in a really good spot.
Because if you're putting poorly, yes, you can waste some strokes. But if you're driving it horribly, you're taking 3 off the tee or you're in the hazard. That adds up quick.
Well, and back to what I was just talking about, my own game, and this is how I can kind of probably give that a decent answer on that one, is because using Arcos, most rounds relative to a +2 handicap, which is kind of how I judge my strokes gained, I'm adding strokes, so I'm slightly better from a strokes gained perspective than a +2 handicap, and I'm slightly worse than a +2 when it comes to chipping and putting.
So that's how you're identifying where you should put your time.
I know that if I put, if I have a really bad driving day, my score goes from 71, 72 to 78 really quickly.
Right.
What if I have a bad putting round? Generally, it's never more than 73, 74.
Okay. So you can tell what affects your game more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would, if both are somewhat equal and there's not one that's way worse than the other, obviously that's going to be the answer. Go for whatever is worse. But I would say do driver.
There you go. I like it. Let's get this one because Dan was excited that he finally caught a live.
Nice, Dan.
So let's get this from Dan. So Dan is asking, what is the difference between the Motore F1 6X and the Speeder Evo?
Wow, going back a little bit.
5.6. That's an older Fuji shaft. He was fit for Speeder, but bought the Rad and Motore and love it. Okay. Well, that's good. Good that you have the one that you like to begin with. What's the deal with that?
That's going back a few years with the
How old of
the
the
5.
design is that?
Let's see what the Evo 5. I don't even remember what exactly the profile was in that one. Evo 5, not a car.
I'm assuming, Dan, that's a shaft that you had in the past. Yeah, not a Mitsubishi Evo Evolution sports sedan. What are they on now? Evolution
7?
7?
I think 7, the white one is.
So we're 2 Evolutions older? Yeah, that sounds
Evo
right.
7, yeah, up there.
That's what you got up there. Yep.
Evo 5. Okay, so Evo 5 would be... Well, based on kind of what Fuji are saying on there, we never really worked much with Evo 5. That's why we actually only carried it in the really lightweights.
Okay.
We carried the 474 version. It is relatively soft in the tip section. So probably that's probably why we didn't carry it in the heavier, stiffer weights.
Just wouldn't suit them.
Yep. So you're probably going to find F1 to be a little bit stiffer, certainly in the tip section, probably similar in the mid section, and then similar in the handle. But again, it's different for different people. It really is. It really hard to say. But Evo 5 was a softer profile.
Yeah, it makes sense. Then if Dan's liking the Motore more, it's probably enjoying the stability of it.
So he's probably playing does it say what's 6X?
Yep.
You see this, so 68 grams, 3.7 torque. I wouldn't imagine they're a million miles apart.
Really?
I really wouldn't. Looking at where that is on the tip and butt flex
in the
measurements in the X, I wouldn't imagine they're a million miles apart. Probably 661 is a little bit on the heavier side,
right?
Than F1. Could actually change the feel of it a little bit.
So in the same ballpark, but there you go. Dan, hopefully that helps. Marcus is asking if I'm going to order the new T100s.
What do you think?
Well, Titleist sent us a few for testing, so
true.
I could.
You've already got half a set.
Replace 2 or 3 of them right now. Honestly, probably because I do like the feel of them a bit better, and I do like the look of them a bit better. So as a mid-season kind of sure, why not kind of thing? Yeah, probably will. If I was gonna order them for full pop right now, would I? No, I'd probably have to think about what the performance differences are, which you'll see in the video. There definitely are some, but I think if you just were to pick them up, hit a couple shots, you'd have a hard time not preferring the new ones, in my opinion. I just think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Mike G, good question. How much does a person's arm length, wrist to floor measurement, factor into the lie angle? And does that measurement come into play or vary for certain manufacturers? I mean, Mike, obviously people's physical dimensions are part of it. There's no doubt about that. We do not kind of base length recommendations off of static measurements, though.
Right.
We the fitting process is a dynamic process, and we use people's dimensions as we observe them to obviously make a judgment call. We then use the foresight to see what's happening with dynamic lie angle, what's happening with strike location, ball speed retention, consistency, standard deviation on things like launch and spin, speed, those types of things. We're not doing any wrist to floor measurements. Neither are we putting lie tape on or face tape on, because we've got quad that does that for us.
Yeah.
One thing I will say to you though is if you go to a club, go to a pro shop and you go for a fit that way, and they do take your wrist to floor or take your tape and stuff like that, good on them. Because they're not really, most pros and assistant pros are not doing it on a day-to-day basis enough to have a good feel for these types of things.
Fair enough.
So having those types of measures in place is really good practice. It's a bit like why I say the Mizuno Optimizer, shaft optimizer, is a great thing if you're at a club or something like that, because it will shortcut the route to whichever one of these shafts is going to be the best one. Unless you work with these clubs every day, how do you gain that experience? You can't.
You can't. And then it's obviously way better than nothing, right? So the wrist to floor isn't maybe your favorite thing, but it's better than them just going, let me just give you 2 flat.
Yeah, and if a fit is just not going well and we're not figuring things out, I have went and got a ruler before and went, is there something I'm missing here? But normally you can eyeball it.
Right.
Normally, you see people's proportion where they're creasing their wrist lies relative to their body length and things like that. You can normally get a pretty good posture.
Yeah.
Obviously, things like how they stay in their posture. Do they kind of bob up and down? Do they move too much laterally? There's lots. That's why we say it's a dynamic thing. But, don't overlook it though for if you're going into more of a basic fitting environment.
Yeah, fair enough, because you just have to use what's available.
Yeah.
I just realized we're at an hour and 5 minutes. We should probably wrap up. Get back to filming.
We've got lots ahead. Lots and lots ahead. Okay.
Grab one more if you want, but otherwise, we can wrap it up.
Let's see. JG Golf again. Why is Mizuno flatter than other club manufacturers?
The irons.
Are they still? I know they historically have been, but I think they made an adjustment with that.
Let's find out.
I thought they had came back into spill. The answer is because the obviously their Japanese roots. The clubs traditionally have been a little bit flatter by the way they've designed and also shorter. Let's see their spec on the new JPX.
There you go.
Yeah, no, they're right. So it's a degree. So
still, there's still a degree flat as their standard.
Yep. I mean, standard is kind of almost went out the window for most people's, like standard. I saw Titleist their new specs more upright in the long irons.
Are they? Yeah.
Half a degree more upright in the 6, 5, 4, and 3, something like that, because that's something that they saw as their specs. So, yeah, I mean, I would just say it goes back to their kind of Japanese heritage, not something that is going to really help certain players.
Right.
Yeah, I think probably upright helps more players
more
than,
often, right? Yeah, fair enough.
Tilting that loft and making it more upright, tilting it to the left to prevent that kind of weak shot to the right, probably more common. But Japanese heritage, I would say.
It is. Yeah. And in the MPs, I guess they assume a lot of good players probably use them, and then
definitely.
All right. It's good.
Okay. I think we are all good.
Sweet.
Guys, thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
How many did we have in there today? 141.
Somewhere around 700 or 800. It was a good turnout.
Good. Very good. The week ahead, we are obviously Titleist irons. We've got we're hitting some T100s, some T200s. We've got the Cobra hybrid.
That's right. Yep.
We have a sub 70 driver we may actually hit today.
That's right. Yeah.
We've got some stuff. So yeah, it should be a nice full week. Look out tomorrow. It's a holiday here today, but look out tomorrow or Wednesday for the contest announcement.
Oh yeah, right. We're almost ready for that.
We're almost ready. Things are like dates are finalised and everything's kind of finalised now. What was the 150k kind of
celebration?
Yeah, celebration which we've sailed past.
It'll be the 162 and a half celebration.
Exactly. So what we're talking about, guys, is the Pinehurst trip that we have. Did we drop the name? We did.
I hope so.
I was going to say
you did.
We did.
Long time
Okay. So we're Pinehurst, 2 golfers, two prize winners joining Matty Boy and I in Pinehurst, playing number 1, I believe 1, 2, 4, and 8.
Okay.
I believe is the plan. We'll be there for around 4 days, 3 to 4 days, something around that.
Depending 36 hole days, maybe?
Potentially. We've obviously got the VA shaft fitting in there as well.
That's a big one.
And a kind of clothing manufacturer is going to join us. It's not Galvin Green before you...
it's not Galvin Green?
It's not Galvin Green.
It is an manufacturer.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, look out for that. Probably, I would say more realistically, Wednesday. You'll see that. We'll get our thoughts together with the team tomorrow. I know the little trailer that we're doing is just about ready, 90%, I believe.
Good.
So, should be good.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, see you next week.
See you next week.